I am Justin Estes, and this is the Untitled Coaching Podcast. I've tried to record this episode 7 times, and I'm getting frustrated. And we're going to let that frustration just live here in the internet, on the podcast ether. Why? Because being a gym owner sucks sometimes. Today, we are talking to you, the gym owner. If you are one of our clients and you want to listen to this just to get some interesting perspective, cool. I love it. But this episode isn't geared towards you, and it's not because I don't love you. It's just because we're exploring something different, and I've noticed a little bit of a gap the last few months. So why not help? Or why not offer my opinion? And here we go. The reason I'm frustrated is because I'm struggling with wording some things in a way that won't be offensive, and so I'm just going to also own that now. If I bring up something that you as a gym owner or you as a company are doing that I disagree with, just know I don't think you're a bad person. I don't think it's malicious. I just don't know if I understand the why behind it. And so we're going to talk about things that make a little bit more sense. And if you feel triggered, I would highly recommend that we just have a conversation. Systems win. That's that. Inconsistent effort yields inconsistent results. That's true in training. That's true in relationships. And it's definitely true in how you run your gym. And you'll see that if you're inconsistent in your systems, your team is inconsistent. And if your team is inconsistent, your gym as a whole is going to be very inconsistent. And that's going to be frustrating. I have a system for how I record this podcast. I have a system for how we do our social media. We have a system for how we clean the gym. We have a system for pretty much everything that goes on in here. Systems allow for consistency, repeatability. It allows for me to train someone else on how to do something, but it just allows for us to depend on what's about to happen. We're going to find that with systems, we reduce a lot of friction for our members, and members, I love you, but more importantly, for our coaches. If our coaches enjoy what they're doing, there's less friction for them, they're going to deliver a better product. And I've said it before, but the product is not your gym. The product is not how nice the floors are or the amazing lobby you installed, or maybe your fancy cold plunge or the fact that you have the best rig in town. Oh, that could be taken a bunch of ways. But the product is the coaching. The coffee bar you have at your gym, the free fit aids that you have in the front, the nice warm towels you keep for your members, the recovery section, the really cool lobby where people can, hang out, and you've got USB plugins on all the chairs. Those are benefits. It's a benefit of being a part of your gym. But the product is the coaching. It's the relationship. That's the product. Systems help make sure that the product is consistent. We help ensure that your brand promise is delivered every day. The brand promise, what they see on your social media, what you tell them when they book a call or come in for an intro or whatever it may be, the assumption that they make that they're going to be taken care of, systems help. Systems ensure that happens. An example of a system would be like an onboarding system. And when we talk about systems, we need to make sure that they make sense for how you run your gym. A lot of us have been around the space for many moons. And back in the day, someone would come and be like, yo, CrossFit Garland, what's up with this place? And I'd be like, man, it's legit. Like, we work out. It's going to be hard. Your first workout, you're going to want to cry. You might call your mom afterwards. but you're going to want to come back for more. And nothing is doing this. Well, now a lot of places are doing this. A lot of places are trying to have the hardest workout. They're trying to get you to feel like crap the next day, all these things. So we have to pivot. If you've been in business for a few years, you should probably understand who your ideal client is, all of these things. And so onboarding should make sense for that. If you say that your product is coaching and you're delivering some sort of customization in your coaching, like let's say that you're just running an OG CrossFit play and you're like, yo, I can't have you join this class because I've never seen you squat before and I need to see you squat before you train. It does not make sense for my first interaction with your gym to be a free intro. Let's run that play. Let's run that scenario. I fill out a form on your website, or I go to your website and I see that it's a free intro is what you're offering, and that's how you're getting people in the door. And then I call and I'm like, hey, what's up with your gym? Like, how do y'all do things? They're like, oh, well, we do CrossFit, and our coaches are all experienced. We have all level 3 and level 4 coaches here, and to train with us, like you're gonna get hands-on coaching, and you're gonna get all these things, and our coaches have eyes on you, and we need to make sure that you're moving right. Okay, cool. Well, how do I get in? Oh, just come do an intro class. Sweet. When do I do that? Book it whenever. All right. So I come in for the class and I get smashed in class, and then I'm like, so what now? Well, now you sign up, and you sign up for personal training sessions, or you sign up for fundamentals courses, or you have to go through level 1 classes, or whatever it may be. And so many gyms are running this play. I can, off the top of my head, think of 97 gyms. That's a lie. I actually can think of 5 gyms in our area, in the Dallas area, that are running this play. And when I've talked to these owners, I say, why are you running the play that way? They all say the same thing. Well, that's just how we've always done it. Do you ever get people that get frustrated and say, well, why am I being told I can't join class, but you let me join class my first time interacting with you? That's just a thing that has been blowing my mind recently. The more that we have these Dallas Coaching Collective events, the more we talk and more we get to know how people are doing their onboarding. It's just a thing that I would encourage gym owners to reassess. If you say that your product is coaching, get out in front of that and book a call or book a no sweat intro and say, hey, before you get on the floor with us, we're going to put you through a level 1 class, or we're going to put you through a couple of assessments. How we do things at our gym is people book a call. We check the vibe on the call. Then on the call, we say, yeah, it's 2 assessments. When do you want to do those? They schedule those. They pay for those on the call. They come into the gym, and payment's already been cleared. Everything's already been set. They're already here, and it is a 10 out of 10. They're going to continue either with personal training or with our CrossFit class, and that's how we roll. But we also are staying so true to the fact that we want to make sure that we know who we're training. We want to make sure that the vibe fits. We want to make sure that we're not going to jack them up in class, all those things. I could talk about that for 75 years. We talk about these systems, and we talk about not running plays that other people are running just for the sake of running them. So you heard how I run my play. Don't look to your business partner and say, oh my gosh, that's what we got to do. Do not do that. Look at who your ideal client is. Look at the people in your gym that are bringing the most value to your gym. Who do you love to coach? Who is so fun when they come in? Who gets you excited when you see that they've reserved? Who's referring people? How'd you get that person in? What did you do for their onboarding? Start thinking about these things and think about ways to build a plan around that person. We want to build retention plans, and we want to build acquisition plans that work for the audience you're trying to capture, if that makes sense. You need a system that is built for your space, your culture, and your team's strengths. You got to know your gym, you got to know your people, and you got to build around that. Let's revisit onboarding briefly. If your onboarding sucks, your retention is going to suck, and that's just that. People need to feel safe. They need to feel seen. They need to feel like they're being guided by you as the coach. You set that up from the first phone call, from the first assessment, the meeting, the vibe when they walk into the gym for the first time, their first class. All of those things are set up very early on. You got to think about it like a first date. It's really hard to get a second date if the first 15 minutes of that first date are awful. I got really fortunate with my wife that the first 15 minutes of our first date was really, really good because she's a really good conversationalist, and she made it so easy to talk to her. Minute 16, I started having really fun allergy problems. Started sneezing a lot. Started getting a lot of mucus buildup, and it was so uncomfortable. But because we had a good first 15 minutes, she showed me a lot of grace in minutes 16 through 45 of having to go to the bathroom every like 5 minutes and blow my nose. I don't know what I ate. I don't know what it was, but my nose kept running. I just kept having to like cough up stuff, and she was so cool with it. And we ended up talking for another like hour and a half after that. You can't just be in a situation with your onboarding that you're trying to teach movements or get them so fit, get them so many results in the first few months. We need to have a process that explains your values. They get to know your team really well, and you're reinforcing your culture. And you just need to be aware that day one, week one, month one are super important. Anybody want to talk about websites? One of the things when I look at systems, I have to draw a correlation to your website. I have to just because it's fun. If you don't own your domain, your content, your call to actions, then you're building on rented land. And if you're using a company that builds websites, that's where you're at. Why is that a problem? It's a problem because when you go to add different things to the site, you have to go through someone. When you go to change things for like a C name record or an A name record or whatever it may be, if you're not very techie, just Google that, chat GPT it. But when you go to add in like widgets and plugins and different forms, if you don't outright own your website, which I mean, if you don't have the ability for the company that made the website for you, if you don't have the ability to go and block them from changing anything, then you've paid for a car that you're not allowed to change the tires on. You've paid for a car that you can't go and install your own stereo. And if we're looking back at early 2000s, like you can't put your 215s in the trunk. And I'm trying not to laugh. But you've essentially paid for a car, like you've paid for a rental car. You're driving around with the Enterprise sticker on your car and you think that it's yours. No. You need to make sure that you have a good website that's optimized for local SEO. It has lead capture, and it's not just pretty photos. You need to make sure that this website plays with Google well. You need to have your Google business page set up. You need to have all these things synced. So maybe it's worth talking to the company that built your website and say, hey, what would it look like to buy this from you? Like, and us completely own it. And then we just enter in an agreement where we do copy changes every year, or we do things on like an a la carte basis. And if they're not willing to do that, I promise you there's 30 people in your town that have trained themselves on WordPress and have built high functioning websites, and you can vet and find at least one person that can get something done for you and get it done well. We don't need a website that has to be able to take over the world. We need a website that is going to clearly put your brand messaging out there, attract new people, and then have your current people feel comfortable with, yeah, this is who we are, and I'll send my friends to this referral link, and you have a blog post that features your members and all these things. Like, we don't need anything crazy. You don't need to be sold on this super expensive website that you don't own. Leads are important. Leads are great. You need leads to stay in business, but I don't think you need more than like 15 a month, and I don't think you need to be closing more than 3 to 5 a month to stay in business. If your churn is so high that 3 to 5 leads a month isn't keeping you in business and keeping you profitable and keeping you growing, then you have a retention issue, bruh. You don't need 100 new people. You need your current members to stay, and you need them to invite their friends occasionally. You need, when you do an event, you need 90% of your gym to show up. You don't need a bunch of your members to be like, oh, it'd be great to have done that, but I went to go see Superman instead. Like, you need people to be fans of your brand. You need people who want to be here, who want to rep what you're doing, and want to stay for a long time. Your systems, your coaching, your communication, they all impact whether someone stays 3 months, 3 years, 10 years. And the cost of losing a member, it truly is higher than the cost of getting a new one. It's so much easier and cheaper to retain somebody than it is to find a new client. You can ask yourself a really simple question like, what would make our best clients never want to leave? Or maybe if you're like us and your gym's been around for 17 years and you have members that have been here that whole time, go up to that member and say, why have you never left? Like, in 17 years, these people have learned so much of what I have to teach them, and all of our coaches have to teach them, but they continue to choose to stay with us. They stayed with us through price increases. They stayed with us through global pandemics. They stayed with us when I had a really bad long haircut and then it looked gross, and when I coached in Toms. Why are they staying? Figure it out, and let's see if we can repeat that. So let's recap a little bit. You want to build systems that make coaching easier and more consistent. Don't copy and paste. Customize your approach. Onboard like it's a first date. Own your online presence. Don't rent that space. And most importantly, your focus needs to be on your people that are in the gym, not just on attracting new people. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Untitled Coaching Podcast. If you want to chat, it's Justin at 3qfitness.com. or Justin at builtfortime.com. If you want to be a part of Dallas Coaching Collective, just follow us on Instagram at Dallas Coaching Collective. And if you have an idea about a future podcast episode for coaches, keep it to yourself, bro. No, I'm kidding. Let us know. Send me an email. Let me know. If you are a coach and you want to hop on this and give me some insight and give me some pointers, I'm all for it. Closing thought is truly just focus on the people you have. Figure out why they're here. Figure out what's keeping them here, and do what you can to keep them happy. My name is Justin Estes. This is the Untitled Coaching Podcast. Thank you so much. Peace.